if it's a typical fraud investigation, it could be into the millions of dollars. It could be a smaller sum. Drug investigations usually deal with a lot of cash, so again, you could be into the, depending on the complexity of it, many millions of dollars.
So you keep like saying like drug businesses. This sounds like a very dangerous procedure almost.
It's just, I mean, it's just another tool. Organized crime of all stripes, like any criminal group or any criminal at all want to keep, whether somebody's stealing a candy bar or $20 million, they want to keep it, or they want to lose as little as they can of it. So it keeps feeding on itself, and it's how you get criminal investigations or criminal organizations finance other crime, and so that's their bank account. That's what they use to bankroll guns and drugs and all the other problems that we have in our society. You go to the bank to get a loan, you fill out papers. They go to the bank, get out a loan, but they pretend they're you. So you lose your money, but they've got use of your money. So it goes across the financial institutions. You'd be aware of FINTRAC that deals with large amounts of cash money being moved out of the country, large deposits being put into the banks. You have to report what it's for. FINTRAC, if something comes onto their radar, they will notify the police or the RCMP, federally. So, yeah.
And so after the money is laundered, like what does it sponsor? Does it go back into the organized?
It goes back into the enterprise, whatever that may be, whether that's 2 people or 200 people, depending on what it is. If it's credit card fraud and skimming, to buy more skimming equipment, to buy more fake plastic, to buy more equipment to steal your credit card data and put it into use. So as I say, it feeds on itself. Along the way, you might pick up a few houses, you might pick up some cars, you might pick up whatever it is. They become your assets. It's harder to prove that dirty money, if you will, bought those things, but that's a proceeds case. It's enough to show, as I say, it's enough in our fraud world to show that you had it, you ripped it off, and you dealt with it. As soon as you dealt with it by offshore or hiding it in various accounts under different names, then we have a money laundering.
Money laundering.
Yeah.
And you said when it's being put back in the business, they use it to buy houses and cars. Do they use it to buy drugs and weapons?
Sure, it becomes financing for you name it, any criminal activity. Stolen cars, credit card skimming, drugs, guns. All these things cost money. Everybody has to be paid in the circle, and so that's what it gets used for. Sure, absolutely.
And has money laundering ever been linked to like terrorism?
Not here that I know of in York Region. That would be more of a federal responsibility. There's this agency, along with all the other agencies across Canada, work with the RCMP so that you can be sure that the RCMP, I think on their website, FINTRAC, deal a lot with terrorist operations. Again, designed to cut off the flow of money to terrorist activities.
Does money laundering exist in government itself?
No, because they can get your tax money, so they have a sort of an unending supply, kind of a way that way. When government overspends or gets into deficit situations, then of course it's a spending taxation cycle for public services. We want certain services in a society, municipally or provincially, federally, healthcare, policing, the things that we take for granted in our society cost money. That comes from taxes. Whether we pay too much or too little taxes, I guess that's always a thing that we can debate, right? But so no, you don't need to. In government, what may happen is theoretically what happen is overspending on contracts or improper tendering of contracts, that sort of thing. So that's usually what, and again, depending on the government, that would be a federal responsibility.
And so going to the foreign investment talk, Canada's immigration has two ways that you can immigrate to Canada, and one of those ways is a business way. But I've heard that the business way requires a large amount of money to actually put forth.
Yeah.
So do we really know if they're laundering money or not?
Again, not my area of responsibility in this municipality. Federal, sponsorship of foreign investment has been with us for a lot of years, and the overwhelming majority of immigrants to this country are honest businessmen. We're trying to promote getting capital into this country. Again, I'm no expert at this, but the idea is if you're coming in and you're going to be, building a factory and it's going to be employing Canadians, those are the kind of investments we want. To answer your question, with any good idea comes, or could come, a criminal element, which can latch on. Everything that we do every day, we use our debit card honestly. We do certain things. There are people who will latch on to good ideas and find a way to make a dishonest dollar. Sure, it's possible. Anything's possible.
I know this is out of your area of expertise, but can we really regulate like foreign investment?
way over my head, yeah. But they do regulate foreign investment. The global economy, as I understand it, has shrunk globally. It's a very small world. Canadian companies own factories and interests all over the world. Foreign countries own certain interests in this country. It's just the way our trading system works. I don't think we can ever go back now to an isolationist kind of a view where, pre-World War II kind of a thing, very global economy. As I say, I'm no authority,
But don't you believe that because of this economic downturn, we've increased the amount of foreign investment we want, and do you believe that we're asking less questions now?
I can't comment because I really don't know. It's not my area. I can say though that with a downturn in the economy, I see my area increase in all kinds of fraud across the board, including people getting involved with schemes and. So
there is a correlation.
There's a correlation to fraud work, certainly. Yeah, in 2008 we had a spike in. The online scams, and people are looking for a quick dollar or a quick fix. They've lost their jobs, they've got to pay the bills, and so they're susceptible to these kind of come-ons. So all we can do there is basically warn people that, listen, these scams are out there and you really have to be careful. The global view that you mentioned, I really don't know. I would assume that the federal government is keeping an eye on, as much as they can, foreign investment. You get into the thing with foreign investment, Canadian jobs being lost should a company close down. But again, we have interests all over the world too. It's all interconnected, I would think.
So is there a way to combat money laundering, and why is it so important to combat it?
There is law. There are laws on the books that are being used constantly. The criminal code was amended a few years ago, dealing with identity theft and possession of personal information, which has made our job easier. It's like anything else. It's a constant cycle, whether it's federally or provincially or municipally. Criminals don't give up because they've hit a dead end. They go around it. It's like water finding its own level. It's a constant, ongoing studying of a particular series of crimes, investigation, prosecution, and then you start it all over again. So it's